computer and anything more. So.
Hey, what's up, guys? Ryan G, the legend, and Tiffany, the pickle,
Coco.
and Coco. And do you guys notice it's a new dog we bought? Do you guys notice how much, Coco? You notice how much this dog freaks out? Look, look.
He just really loves you.
He really loves. Look at my
I'm
mouth.
not gonna kiss you now.
Okay, Lincoln, catch.
So here's the deal. I thought that it would be super fun to get Ryan to do the tortilla slap challenge, but he doesn't know what it is. So this is what you gotta do. Grab your water. You have to take a bunch of water, not yet, put it in your mouth. I'm gonna put it in my mouth. I'm gonna give you this tortilla. We're each gonna have one. And I'm gonna hit you across the face of the tortilla. And whoever holds the water the longest
Wins?
Yes.
Okay, here's what I'm concerned about.
What?
Getting red flagged in the state of Florida means you've committed some type of domestic assault. This could be classified as a domestic assault. No? You're waiving your marital woman rights of abuse right now. You promise?
Yeah.
All right, so, you ready?
Okay, no folding it.
You're gonna pee yourself.
You know, this is really just an opportunity for me to hit you as hard as I could. And you fell for it. You waived your rights.
Okay, but you only did it one time? That seems like a silly challenge.
Try again.
My tortilla broke.
You freaking hit me hard. I was like,
Okay.
You hit me harder than I thought.
I was trying to be like conservative. I'm a nice Christian man. I'm not gonna hit my wife like that.
Let me and Link try it. People want to see it.
Yeah. No, do you actually know the trick though? Guys.
Okay, so tell me what you guys think. Who hit hardest? Tiffany hit hardest. Drop it in the comments right now. Did I hit hardest? And please do not red flag me. Oh my gosh, you gotta be
What, it died?
kidding me.
What happened?
Freaking kidding me. Oh my God. Everybody stay there. Don't move.
What
The
happened?
technical problems continue.
Did you forget to turn the camera on, you ding dong? Oh my gosh, Ryan. Can you guys hear us at least? No? You probably killed the camera too. Ryan, what is the matter with you tonight? I feel like you've totally lost everything. Okay, can you guys hear me? That's the question. Okay, good. They can hear me. Okay.
Okay, so this is a live stream without video.
Okay, just wait. Well, can you not figure this out, Ryan?
Okay.
No, you have to figure this out. Yes, Ding Dongs is right. I can't believe how much stuff Ryan has screwed up for tonight's live. And yes, I'm blaming this all on Ryan. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I am here, I promise. We just got to figure out how to get the camera on because Ryan is a real ding-dong tonight. Audio is on. Okay, so this is called Ryan and Tiffany in the Dark.
Okay, so unfortunately, here's the hard truth. You ready for the hard truth, Tef?
No. What?
No, you don't want to know?
What's the hard truth?
The hard truth is I'm going to have to go in here and reprogram. Oh, see?
What did
Still
you
didn't
do?
it, man.
I don't know what Ryan did, guys. Audio is good, no picture, yeah. Okay, well, if there's going to be no picture, I'm definitely taking my shirt off because it is so hot in here. And if no one can see us anyway, this'll... Are you going to be distracted at all, Ryan? That's the question. Will you be distracted?
No, but man, what the... No picture, so the picture's not even coming through like... You guys saw the video, though, right?
Yeah, they saw the video. This stuff's going. Stuff's happening. You just can't see us.
So crazy.
I don't know what happened tonight, but we have had some major issues. And it's a little bit frustrating.
Just a few minutes ago, which is what's funny.
Well, Ryan works on this. I'm just going to tell you guys. I saw this tortilla slap challenge the other day, and I thought it was hilarious. And I thought, I wonder if Ryan will do this with me. Of course, I wanted him to go first because my idea was to just, take every opportunity that I have to smack the crap out of him when he gives up all of his rights. So... it was pretty funny, but I have to say, you hit me harder than I thought you were going to hit me. There we are.
Yeah, this is all ghetto, though, man.
That's okay. You guys are okay with ghetto camera, right?
Okay.
We can do this. Turn it a little this way so people would rather see me than you.
I feel bad. I feel bad with this crappy camera right now.
Are you guys okay with this camera? Let's just say.
But the whole thing is jacked, Tiff.
Ryan.
The slides. I don't even know what the slides say.
Well, then why don't we just do a really quick live tonight and...
All right, let's just talk. We'll save the live stream for tomorrow. We'll do it tomorrow when I get done with class.
We have class.
After class is what I just said. After class, we'll do it for
my
an hour.
shirt is still on.
Everything
Yes, it
that
is.
I just planned.
I didn't take my shirt off. Woo, good thing.
Okay. What's up, guys? Ryan and Tiffany here. So excited that you're here. Sorry that we had such a cluster, as they would call it in the military, a royal cluster. FK.
Okay, so sometimes this kind of stuff happens, though. We had major tech issues, but we kept fighting.
We fought the good fight.
So that we would be on tonight, even with this crappy resolution. So, we gave you guys, we delivered the tortilla slap challenge, which I thought was really, really funny. And I smacked the crap out of him. The tortilla even broke. I have to say this. I actually felt bad after. I was like kind of looking at him like, are you going to be mad at me? But he was just laughing. He's like, it didn't hurt. It's a tortilla.
Yeah, you don't feel anything.
Yeah, but I did make you a nice meal after, like an extra nice meal. And I was like, here, I feel bad for smacking the crap out of you. So I was kind of nice. We can still do the questions on there. I have them on my phone.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right, so the first story that I wanted to talk about is there was an article in the paper that said California has solved the gun violence problem.
Oh, please.
And the article went on to say, like, if all of America adopted similar laws to what the state of California has adopted, that all of our gun violence problem, mass shooting,
kidding me?
Violence, gang-related stuff, all that would be eliminated if we just followed what California is doing.
Okay, so this is do you remember the YouTube thing or the Facebook video that I sent you that they said there's this massive problem in California and they showed this woman coming out of a jewelry shop.
Oh, yeah.
And they like run up on her, and as she like tries to get away, a car hits her, knocks her over. She knew. She grabbed the watch, threw it at them. They grabbed the watch and they ran away. And they said this is happening a lot in San Francisco. People going in, they're watching people go into any of the higher end shops and robbing them the minute they walk out. Running them over with a car, taking their stuff, following them home, stuff like that. So they've solved this all of a sudden?
Yeah, so what I find really hilarious, it's scary, frankly, because it just like, the Adolf Hitler propagandist used to say, if you tell a big enough line, tell it often enough, people will believe you, right?
People will believe it.
And isn't that what's happening? Like, the media just puts out this stuff out there. They say it boldly. They say it with confidence. And then people are like, yeah, you're right. California has solved the gun control problem.
Right.
Which is why hundreds of thousands of people are fleeing from the state like they're refugees from an Afghanistan warlord.
Yeah.
But California solved the gun control problem. You know, when I was looking at the FBI's, statistics the other day on gun violence and active shootings, I'm going to give you guys in the chat one guess on which state leads the nation every year in mass shootings. Put it in the chat.
Wow.
Out of all 50 states, which state has more mass shootings every year for the last 10 years?
Okay. Should I guess or no?
No. I want to see some answers in the chat.
Okay. I'll keep my mouth quiet.
Okay, Drew says California, Chicago, California,
Yeah,
Illinois.
Illinois is where I was going to go.
Yeah, it is California.
Really, hey?
For 10 years.
But they've solved the problem.
But they've solved it, according to this ridiculous reporter who thinks that the crowd is yelling, "Let's go, Brandon."
So here's the thing. I saw this I can't remember the guy's name, but somebody had just posted it in the Florida Conceal Carry group. And it's like this congressman, and he's like, look at this. This is a brace that allows you, it's a bump stock brace. It allows you to shoot fully auto. And then the other guy's like, excuse me, that's actually a brace for stabilizing the pistol, and it doesn't shoot fully auto. And if you're going to pass a law, you should at least know what law you're passing. And it was really, really funny to watch the guy say it with such certainty.
yeah.
Like, this is what it is. But here's the thing. If you don't fact check any of this stuff, then you can easily kind of get sucked in and go, oh, yeah, that's not good. We don't want people to be, I'm not saying you guys because, but a lot of people that are in the middle may be like, oh, yeah, I don't think people should be shooting fully autos on the street because that's what they're being told.
No, an even better one. There was a congressman that you sent me an article or whatever that this lady wrote. And she said, the AR-15, the bullet is so deadly that when it hits a body, it disintegrates
It blows a skull to smithereens.
So much that they can't even find a body afterwards. What? What?
Can't find a body.
What are you talking? They can't even find the bodies.
Wow.
Okay, this isn't like a laser vaporizer gun, lady.
That would be cool, though.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That reminded me of like that Mars Attack show. Is that what you watched?
Yeah, Mars Attack. Where they just turn into a skeleton and then turn into dust. Yeah, that's not what an AR-15 does, lady. Or you remember the one lady that's like, an AR-15 is
heavier than 10 boxes?
Yes, heavier than 10 boxes. It's like, no, it's not. One of the guys that just built an AR in the AR-15 Secrets group built one a little bit over 4 pounds, 4
right? 4 pounds, yeah. It was like
4
pounds.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so anyway, I got the questions on here. We're not going to be able to put them up on the screen because, yes.
Yeah, Dustin. Wasn't that guy like... Is this gonna get me banned?
It was a reporter. Don't get you banned. Don't get you banned.
Okay, so that guy, if you guys remember, I need to find that video. Dustin, if you have it, text it to me or whatever. But if you remember, there was this guy, he was a reporter. He went to shoot like some guns as part of his reporting, whatever. And he pulled the trigger and he goes, boom. Ah!
No.
This is the pussification of America.
Because if you've ever shot an AR-15, like my kids
my
shoot it all
children
the time.
have shot AR-15s.
I would almost say it's less than a 9mm
because you just have so much ability to stabilize it.
Yeah, the weight is so much more. Okay, so I got the questions on here. I'm going to read it. Ryan, if someone is charging at me to fight me, am I allowed to show my gun just as a way to get them to stop chasing me? Liz. So they're saying charging at me to fight me, but then they're saying chasing. So I'm not quite sure what you get from that. Yeah.
So what's your answer? What do you think?
Okay, so if somebody's charging at you to fight you, it's almost like you have to just think if they don't have a firearm or a knife or something, a weapon showing, then you kind of got to just fight them back, right? I mean, you run, use pepper spray, or fight them back.
Yeah.
But at that point, you're not allowed to use or threaten the use of deadly force because technically you wouldn't be seen as your life is in imminent danger because most people just fight and it's not, a death.
Yeah, the real question is in that moment when that bad guy is chasing you, do you have a reasonable belief of imminent death? Do you have the imminent fear of imminent death, great bodily harm, or the imminent commission of a forcible felony? Where's the camera at? There we go.
Yeah.
Number 3, is the use of deadly force immediately necessary? Do you or are you in a place you have a right to be, and are you committing a crime? So you have to be able to answer yes to the first 4 questions and no to the final question.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter that the guy's chasing you. What matters is how are you answering those questions?
Right.
Do you remember the one lady? She was like, I go for a walk throughout my neighborhood at night, and if somebody is like running at me on the walking trail, can I pull out my gun and shoot? And I said, well, it's on a walking trail, right? And she's like, yeah.
Jogging?
I said, what if this person is jogging and you just pull out your gun and start smoking like random dudes jogging down the road?
That. And if someone's just even running at you to fight you, like,
you have to fight them.
Here's the thing. Like, I know that can be scary to a lot of us, right? Like, we don't want to fight people, or at least some of us don't. But, you know, it can be scary, and it can be intimidating and all that kind of jazz. But, you know, in the scheme of things, like, most people will, like, run up on you and be like, come on, or whatever, right? Or they might
come
be
on,
like,
bro.
They might be like Ryan and be like, and technically... Kyle Rittenhouse, yeah, but that was different, though. That was a completely different, I mean, he got hit with a skateboard, and so now we're talking some kind of weapon or some kind of, you know, and there was multiple people, so it was easier to plead his case that he was in fear for his life. If Ryan is, you know, standing outside and the neighbor gets pissed at him and he just runs up on him, it's a less likely that, you know, he's going to die within seconds. Okay.
Right, and Michelle brings up an interesting point. I hear this a lot from people. So she says, if she fears for her life, brandishing is not illegal. So what she means is brandishing is legal. You're wrong, Michelle. So just because you are in fear for your life does not mean you have a right to show a gun.
Well,
you have to have a reasonable belief, which means your fear that your life is threatened has to also be shared by a jury of your peers. Just because you think your life is threatened. So it's kind of like Michael Draco, right?
Yeah.
Just because the Michael Draco case, Draco thought his life was threatened, that doesn't mean the jury didn't agree with him. The general public did not agree with him. And that's what makes it illegal.
Yeah, pepper spray, 100%. Because it's a non-lethal thing. What about pistol whipping somebody who's attacking you?
I like the enthusiasm, buddy. I like the enthusiasm.
But, I mean, I want to say, though, there is a difference, you know, if they were to, you know, age difference, disability in there, that would change it. If they hit you to the ground and, like, started aggressively, like, punching you nonstop, like, when it escalates to the, you know, now you're actually in fear of your life, but just somebody, you know, straight up running up on you. I mean, we see it happen in road rage and stuff like that all the time.
All the time, yeah.
Somebody running up at you. So if we were to, you know, shoot for that type of situation all the time, I mean, there would just be a ton of shootings. So I think there is a time and a place where that would escalate maybe to something more that you could actually articulate being in fear of your life, but
so who says this?
So Ryan, so after we watched that concealed carrier guy who shot the bad guy in the mall at 40 yards, I texted Ryan, right? I texted him right away and I was like, hey, Rye, I said, this guy shot this guy at 40 yards. That's like 120 feet. Like, that's amazing. I said, could you do that? And what'd you tell me?
I said, I've done it before.
Yeah. And I have to tell you, my little women, I've been married to this guy for, 16 years, dating for 18 years, but I was like, you did. I said, tell me about it.
Now, mine wasn't after I just watched 3 people get murdered.
Right,
but,
or in a mall under high stress, but you did it at the Larry Vickers
class. Yeah, so
class.
Larry Vickers class, we were shooting a handgun at a half silhouette, so it's a very small steel silhouette target. We were shooting at 100 yards.
Yeah.
Which is very challenging.
So
like, you're basically arcing the bullet to a 9mm. You're arcing that bullet to get a hit on the target.
Yeah, so how often, because you probably, I'm just thinking, people practice at the range. How 15, like how,
what's your question?
What do most people practice at the range, kind of like on average?
Nothing. They practice how to get really good at being terrible shooters. That's what most people practice.
Okay, but most people have the target about where?
So statistically, 86% of self-defense shootings will occur between the 3 and the 5 yard line. So frankly, that's where most people need to spend the vast majority of their time training.
That's 15 feet.
Okay. Thanks for doing the math for us.
Well,
So much further than that, frankly, you should be running. This guy, an active shooter, he decided to get involved, and the target was obviously still for that amount of time. Because
So I think he was walking, so he had like a few seconds, because I think he was walking like this, so he had a few seconds to brace up against the pillar and make a shot.
Yeah.
But I mean, super impressive.
Super impressive.
But
It's very hard,
It makes me think that, maybe we should practice a little further out, just in case.
No.
You don't think
Practice
so?
where the things happen. So if it's going to... most people suck.
I disagree.
Most people suck at 3 to 5. They don't even know how to make those shots at that distance accurately. So again, it goes back to the live stream that I did today in the hot tub, the conversation I've had 50,000 times today at the gun range. It goes back to the cone of deviation principle, right? If you don't know how to achieve an accurate hit on the target at 3 yards, then you don't know how to do it at 7. If you don't know how to do it at 7, then what the hell makes you think you could do it at 40?
Right.
Okay? So you have to step this up, right?
Yeah,
Again,
so
it goes back to crawl, walk, run.
Yeah. But I'm saying, for you should practice more, just in case I need you to make a long shot. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe.
All right. Okay. I think they said he hit 8 out of 10 shots. And
that's the part that
shot hit him.
That's the part I was super impressed by. So when I heard, he shot the shooter, I was like, okay, great job. Then I heard it's 40 feet, and he fired 10 rounds. I was like, okay, probably popped off 10.
Missed
Dude probably got lucky, got one good shot, dropped the bad guy. Yeah. Then I heard he got 8 hits out of 10. Okay, that's an applause right there. That's some very, very difficult stuff.
Yeah, I think it's super good. So, all right, next question before we move on here. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so it says, I work in the nightclub biz.
Yep.
I often leave the club with money after 4 a.m. when everything is shut down. I want to have a weapon on me, but how do I do it? What's the correct process? The club sells booze until 3 a.m. I'm working and cash out around 4. Larry. Okay.
Yeah. So you're never allowed to have a firearm in any portion of an establishment licensed to dispense alcoholic beverages for consumption on the property. Now, there's an exemption to that, and that is if you are the bar owner, bar manager, and you've received permission from the owner of the establishment.
Okay.
Because I think my perception is the reason this is in there is that, if you're working at a bar, the presumption is you're not drinking, you're not getting drunk and doing a bunch of dumb stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I think it is super important that I remember talking to this person, and as he walks out of the bar, he has the huge bag of money.
Oh, my gosh.
So I can only assume, I don't know how much revenue a bar brings in or a nightclub brings in.
Probably quite a bit.
I'm going to guess it's 20, 30, 50 grand probably in a bag.
I don't know if it's 50, but I don't know.
20, 30?
I just had a little lounge, I guess, and it was $8 grand, but that was a lounge, not
a club. When I used to go to the club, there'd be hundreds of people in there, right? Yeah. Yeah, so that's a lot of money, and you really need a gun to be able to defend yourself.
Yeah.
Now, I did ask him, I said, just imagine you're walking through Ybor, you're trying to get to your car, somebody comes up and tries to steal that money, what would you do? And he kind of paused, and he said I would just give him the bag of money, and I said, honestly think that's the right thing.
Yeah.
He doesn't own the club. Somebody else owns it. Yeah. This isn't your money. The money is insured.
Yeah.
I'd say just give it to the dude and let the guy go away.
Yeah.
Or the other option is you want to throw the money at the bad guy, so not just hand it to him. What I would do is
then draw.
Toss that money on the ground so the bad guy bends over to pick it up, toss it behind him so he turns around to grab it. That's when you draw, and then you got to yell.
You draw or you run?
No, you draw.
Okay.
You don't want to run. Some dude's got a gun. You draw and you yell, Christmas came early.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Love your conversations. Keep it up. Also, your videos are super helpful for Florida residents. Thank you. I'm glad you like it, even with tonight's crappy video quality.
SEBHDS. That sounds like an STD.
So I just read in the comments, which I didn't know this, that the kid who made the shot was taught by his grandfather.
Oh, wow.
See? This is why it's so important to teach your kids and to bring them up around guns and to bring them up to know, don't fear this, and it's, and it's here to help you and to save lives, and it's, and it's...
And I would assume, the kid's probably a hunter or something like that, so he probably understands the trigger control, the sight alignment, sight picture.
Whatever he did, man, he did it. So, he's all over, and it's such a breath of fresh air to see. Just imagine, you could see the bad guy's face all over the news or you could see this, this hero all over. I love it. I think.
Yeah, but do you know, like, again, this goes back to the report I did on the FBI's active shooters the other day. So in 2021, there were 61 mass shootings that occurred, and only 2 of them were stopped by a good guy with a gun.
Yeah.
So it's actually very, very rare, which I think we all know. Yeah. Very rare that a good guy with a gun who's not a police officer stops an active shooting. Why do you think it's so rare?
Because I actually think that a lot of people own guns. I think that they are not trained enough and feel confident enough to carry them. Therefore, there is a lot of gun owners on paper in America, but the amount of people that carry and are trained to stop a situation like that, I think is a very
far between.
Small percentage.
Yeah. Did you hear about the active shoot? Or I guess it's not an active shooting. Did you hear about the shooting at the Dallas airport today?
I did not.
So a woman got dropped off at the Dallas airport. She walked into like the terminal where you get your ticket and check in your bags and all that stuff. Walked into a bathroom. While she was in the bathroom, she put on different clothes, put on a hoodie, and then walked out with a handgun and just opened fire into the ceiling. What? A police officer that was standing near...
How old was this person?
I actually don't know. Maybe they know in the comments. But a police officer who was standing nearby shot the lady in the lower extremities is what it said. So I assume pelvis area. And the lady dropped, and then they were able to detain her. So it's crazy. We don't really know a motive yet. There was another reporter who was standing nearby, and she said that she heard arguing between the woman or arguing between 2 people. We don't know if this is like hearsay or
okay, so it looks about it in her 30s.
Yeah.
Weird, but she was prepared, so it wasn't like she was in an argument and then she made a rash decision. She was prepared. She had a gun with her. She had extra change of clothes. She was obviously planning something. So.
Yeah, I find it strange that she had the extra clothes. Like, what was the intent of that, or why did that part matter?
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
So, interesting.
Okay, did you see Dustin? That would be on purpose.
Suicide by cop, maybe,
Could have
but
been.
Didn't work because she got shot in the kneecap. It sounds like.
Okay, so Lisa has an amazing question here. In fact, I'm going to copy it real quick because I think I need to talk about this more in the next version of my books.
Yeah, let's
So I'm just going to paste it real quick. All right.
Okay.
So Lisa's question says, can you shoot to wound, stop, instead of kill if you feel your life is in jeopardy, but maybe not mortally in danger? Do you see what you just said, though? You feel your life is in jeopardy, but it's not mortally in danger.
But it's not,
You can't have both. Both do not exist in the same place and time. Shooting to wound is incorrect at all times, always and forever.
Which is really hard for us women to digest. Most of us, not all of us.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure Ting Ting doesn't care.
No, Ting Ting, I don't think Ting Ting's on here, but Ting Ting doesn't care. But for me, so women and men, I will say this, women and men that are high, because my brother's high on the empathy. So women and men
very little empathy.
Women and men that are higher on the empathy scale, right? We have that really hard time with we don't want to kill somebody, right? I'll shoot you in the foot, the leg, the arm, but I don't want to kill you. I don't want to take your life, no matter what. Even if even if someone's trying to kill me, I still don't want to take their life. In a perfect world, I would be able to shoot you in the kneecap and then sit there and have the Jesus talk with you until the EMS arrived. That would probably be my, best case scenario.
I'll have the Jesus talk with them and say, walk towards the light, my friend. Walk towards the light.
But the thing is, okay, but here, you say why it's wrong.
So shooting to wound is wrong because it is not possible. Okay?
Yeah.
You are not a good enough shooter, Lisa.
Yeah.
None of us on here are a good enough shooter to just wound somebody.
Nothing personal.
You could shoot a bad guy right in the wrist, right there. Hit the artery, and that cop is dead in 3 minutes. You could shoot the cop right in the leg, hit the femoral artery, and they are, or hit the, not shoot the cop. You can shoot the bad guy in the leg, hit the femoral artery, and they are dead in minutes. So the reality is under a high stress, high tempo kind of situation, our job is just to get accurate hits. Our job is to make the bad guy stop doing whatever it is that they are doing right now. And that means we are aiming for the high center chest. So imagine the area between the nipples, the collarbone, and the bottom of the rib cage. We're trying to get 3 to 5 shots, as many as possible inside of that area. And my goal is not for you to die. But if the bad guy dies, that is a choice that they made. Mm-hmm. I did not choose to kill them. The bad guy chose death when they decided to break into my house, rape my daughter, attack my family with a knife. You chose death when you got out of your vehicle in a road rage situation and smashed my window with a crowbar. Yeah. You chose to die in that moment. I'm choosing life. Mm-hmm. I'm choosing that my family, my loved ones are going to go home that day. Yeah. And if that means you're going to be introduced to Jesus face to face, and I'm not talking about my landscaper, right? Then yes, you are going to die.
Okay. What? Ting Ting is on the Locked and Loaded Latinos podcast right now. Somebody just reported this. Confucius, I need you to go over there and tell her, bullcrap! So apparently they're out of Miami, this other thing, but I didn't know that they did it the same night as us.
Oh, scumbags.
Like, we're going to have to send them a letter, like, back off our turf! Yeah. Monday night at 7 p.m. is our time! Just joking.
Okay, Dustin, what is the best way to practice high-stress situations? The best...
Confucius says, be back. He's going to tell her.
What is the best way to practice high-stress situations? It's to put yourself in high-stress situations.
Which is hard.
But that's where the Sheepdog Masterclass really comes into play. Yeah. It's about putting yourself into situations where you have the pressure of lots of other people watching you. Mm-hmm. You have the pressure of the timer, the clock, and you've got to get X number of rounds popped off before the clock, hits your part-time or whatever.
Or just get married. Look for your ex-wife, LOL. Yeah. So, Tom, totally get it. I was the same way. I'm still like that. I'm the hesitator. Like, I'm the one that would probably, I've gotten better. I've gotten a lot better over the years, but I get it. I understand the not wanting to, kill someone. So, it's hard. Have Tiff you in the face with a tortilla.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, the Sheepdog Masterclass that I was going to say is Joe made a good point at it. Like, just being even, it was your very first class, and I forget the guy's name. I think he's a lawyer. But he said, like, this is really good because just me being here with you, I'm nervous. So just the feeling of, like, other people watching me and you're trying to perform, that gives me the nerves, which is helping me. It's not quite the same under pressure, but you're still under pressure, right? Yeah. Shooting with the shot timer, that kind of makes you feel like more pressure, more anxiety than just normal shooting. So little things like that, even though it's not the, under pressure like you see the Russians where they're like shooting at live people walking by. Now that's pressure. But I don't suggest that you do that at any time or place.
Yeah, so Lazaro says, what if an intruder climbs over your perimeter fence? Shoot them without question, ? There actually are situations where if somebody comes over, what is it called? It's called curtilage. So if somebody penetrates curtilage, then we do have a right sometimes to use or threaten the use of deadly force. I do not talk about it because it is very complex.
Right.
And it is a very, very gray area, which is why you don't find that topic in my book.
Right.
I just find that it's not clear enough to really tell people do this or don't do that.
Right, because everything you tell people is like, it's kind of,
the clear stuff.
Yeah, it's the clear stuff. The gray area stuff, that is a case-by-case.
And let's just think about this, right?
Depends who's on your jury, depends, who your lawyer is.
Just because somebody climbs over your fence, do we really want to... Oh, Ting Ting's on here.
Is
and
she
it's called
now?
The Cancer Mouse.
No, that's not Ting Ting.
That is Ting Ting's picture right there. All right?
What, did she change her?
The Cancer Mouse.
Ting Ting, is that really you?
That is her.
God, that's her little signals, which I don't know what those are. Those little things. That is her
Chinese thing.
Yeah, so I think...
Means invade the country now. They are distracted.
You're such an ass. Ting Ting, we miss you. You know what? We were talking about you for like 30 minutes the other night. Where were we? Going on a drive or something? We were talking about Ting Ting. And it's so funny because... Where were we?
I don't know.
Oh, we were going to...
Because somebody said, we said, what would you do if 3 men were trying to kick in your door? And then this guy's like, I'd signal Ting Ting to pop out of the bushes like a Viet Cong holding her freaking buffalo tomahawk.
Oh my gosh, so great. Okay, here in Tennessee.
All right, hold on, Tiffany.
Okay, wait. Tiffany, I brought her back to you.
Stop.
I'm so excited.
Okay. So if somebody is inside of your yard just because they hopped over your fence, do we really want to use a firearm? Do we really want to deal with the financial pressure, the emotional stress and pressure of shooting somebody just because they're inside of your backyard? Okay, and Michelle says something hilarious to me. I was told by a cop that if you shoot somebody outside your home, drag them inside. Oh. It's your word against theirs. No, it's not.
Everyone has a Ring doorbell.
That's not the issue. There's evidence.
I know.
They know instantly.
Yes.
When they go out there, they're going to say, hey, did you mess with the crime scene? And you're going to say no. Oh, so now you just lied, right? On a police report.
I know.
And that cop, I hate it. This is a major issue that I have with cops, but they say dumb stuff like this. And then
people take it literally.
The person goes and does it. And then the cop's like, well, I'm not going to testify for you in court.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what that cop says. It's funny. One of the students.
Plus, it was some random cop that you asked a question on the street. You don't know who.
One of my students today said, like, hey, you know, I've seen in your videos that before you're allowed to use a firearm in home defense, that you have to have this happen, this happen, and this happen. But then Sheriff Grady Judd says, you know, if somebody is on your property, just shoot them. And he said, which one of you is right? And I said, I'm right.
Yeah.
Okay? Grady Judd is not coming to testify in your court case.
Yeah.
Grady Judd might not arrest you right then because he's a badass and he's Grady Judd.
Yeah.
But the state prosecutors might.
Yeah. And the state prosecutor is going to do whatever they want to do.
So you have to take this stuff with a grain of salt. Mm-hmm. I hate cops that think they're lawyers, and I hate people that take the words of cops. They're not required to be legal experts. Yeah.
No, but that's very, very true. What's so funny is I see it all the time. I see people stopping cops and asking them like random questions. They don't know all the answers to anything.
They don't know anything about anything. Listen, I'm a pro-cop person.
Yeah.
Most cops don't know much about anything. Okay?
Right, because their job is to do their arrest.
Because they are expected to know a lot of information about a lot of different topics. We are talking and focusing, developing competency on one topic.
Yes.
2 chapters in Florida law. Florida Chapter 790, Florida Chapter 776.
That is it.
That's it.
For 12 years.
I've studied those 2 chapters for 12 years, right?
Over and over and over again.
A guy asked me today, he drove from Carrollwood area to do my class. He goes, how did you learn all this stuff on such a deep level? And I said, brute force over 12 years.
Yeah.
Like if you study something every day for 12 years, you guys are going to get really good at that topic.
Yeah.
Right?
So, and it's not the cop's job to know it inside and out. That's not what they're required to do. It's not. So anyway, moving on. Oh, I got the next question here. So everyone's so happy to have Ting Ting here. Ting Ting, you left us and you got caught. You got caught. Let me find the question. Uh-oh.
Okay, so Veteran Flo, what if the person that jumped in the yard because you didn't have him on target shoot you first, then you're dead? Okay, that's how shootings work. Yep. If someone jumped my fence, I'll be aiming at him and maybe shoot him first. Sure, Veteran Flo, but you would go to jail.
Yeah, you can't.
So you don't have a legal right to be pointing a gun at that person.
This is
Tiffany,
the thing.
just because they hopped your fence, you do not have a legal right to be pulling out a gun and pointing it at them.
So
bottom line.
Lock your doors, call the cops, and wait, right? If they start to forcibly enter your home, then something changes, right? But if they're just, in your backyard, hop the fence, snooping around, even they're grabbing your lawnmower, and they're pushing your lawnmower over the fence, you still can't shoot. You got to just call 911 because your lawnmower is not worth taking somebody's life, and your lawnmower is not worth shooting and going through, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So, okay, I got another question here. Are there any local gun shops you recommend? I would also
Hold on a second. Hold on.
Oh, wait.
So Veteran Flo says, stand your ground. Okay. That's not what stand your ground means. This is why, Veteran Flo, I wish I could show you. You desperately need a copy of my book, Florida Conceal Carry Law. 90% of Florida gun owners do not understand what Florida stand your ground law means. Okay? They don't. This is a topic that I debate with people all the time.
Yeah.
Okay? Florida stand your ground law, if we're talking about your property, we're talking about the castle doctrine. Florida stand your ground law says a person has the right to use or threaten the use of deadly force if a person enters your dwelling, residence, or occupied vehicle unlawfully and by force. And the use of deadly force has to be a reasonable response. A person in this manner does not have a duty to retreat and has the right to stand his or her ground. So again, let's break this down a bit. They have to be entering or attempting to enter unlawfully. They have to be entering or attempting to enter by force. They have to be entering or attempting to enter a dwelling, residence, or occupied vehicle.
Not backyard.
Not backyard or broke down your fence. The use of deadly force has to be a reasonable response. Those are the 4 requirements, right? Before you are allowed to stand your ground.
But people think that the backyard or the yard is included.
It's their property. I hear it all the time. People are like, it's my property. You're on my property. I'm going to shoot. You don't have a right to use a gun just because somebody's on your property.
Right.
Point blank, full stop, doesn't matter. If you do it, your ass is going to go to jail. And then you're going to be sitting in jail like, oh, damn, bro. Should have learned this stuff. Right? Like, imagine Michael Drake.
A lot of people do get confused with stand your ground, including the yard. But it doesn't include the yard. It includes a dwelling, which a dwelling is, your home, your motor home, if it's occupied, right? If it's occupied.
No. The dwelling doesn't matter. Like, so the only thing that says occupied is an occupied vehicle. But a dwelling is, you're at my house, we're drinking, and I'm like, Veteran Flo, bro, sleep on my couch, man. Like, I don't want you to drive, just sleep on my couch. So Veteran Flo, you're in my house, and some scumbag comes in and he tries kicking down the door. You have just as much legal right to shoot that bad guy as I do, because you're dwelling inside of my house at night.
Yeah.
That could be like you're inside of a tent. You're in a trailer. You're in an RV. You're staying at a hotel or a motel. Those are all classified as your dwelling. Residence is obviously the place that you reside. And then an occupied vehicle is a vehicle that has a person in it besides the bad guy.
Right. But not your yard.
Right.
So somebody said, well, what if somebody's getting kidnapped? A kid is getting kidnapped. Can I
smoke
shoot?
them?
Well, that's a forcible felony. So that's completely different, right?
Right. So now instead of talking about Florida Statute 776.031, which is the Castle Doctrine law, now we're talking about Florida Statute 776.012, paragraph 2, which is what many people refer to as the stand your ground law.
Okay, so 2 good questions. Answer Phillips and then answer Diana right underneath.
Say it again, Philip.
Yeah.
Okay, so wait. How are you supposed to enforce a law, but you don't know the law? Very good question. How are you supposed to enforce a law, but you don't know the law?
They would have to know all the statutes of everything, though, not just Florida concealed carry law, right? They would have to know the statutes of all the statutes of burglary, and there's. Have
you ever heard the term, you can beat the crime, but you won't beat the ride? The police's job is to control the situation, draft up a report, and then make an arrest. They refer the case and all the notes to the Florida state prosecutors who know the law, and the prosecutors decide whether this person is going to be prosecuted or not.
Yeah.
That's the process.
Yeah.
The purpose of the police is to make an arrest, which is why there's so many people that get arrested, and then when they get to jail, the cops are like, oh, hey, sorry, what you did was not a crime.
Yeah.
So there were 2 guys in Tampa Bay that were fishing. They had their guns openly exposed on their hips. Somebody called 911. What are you trying to do, Tef?
Nothing.
Okay. Somebody called 911, and the police came. Tiffany, what? What?
Nothing. Look in that camera.
Somebody called 911, and the police came out. The police arrested the men. They seized the boat, and then like 2 hours later, they released the guys and said, hey, I apologize, and we're letting you go.
Yeah, exactly. So because we really can't expect them to know everything, then they would be a lawyer, right? I mean, that's not their job. So
yeah, so House of Lamar says you got to watch somebody steal your stuff. Yes.
Yes.
You do not have a right to use or threaten the use of a firearm to protect your personal belongings.
You can be a good witness. You can call 911, call the cops. You can, get their plate, get their identity, all that kind of stuff. But you can't kill someone over that. So, okay, answer Diana. She says, if someone enters your front door, which was unlocked, is it still considered unlawful entry?
Yes, it is. As long as the door was shut and unlocked and the bad guy had to turn the doorknob or whatever to be able to get in, then that is still classified as a forcible entry in Florida.
Yeah, exactly. So good question, though, because we have a lot of people that ask that. Or in Florida, because it's warm all the time, Ryan, just cover this. Your garage door is open, and they come into your garage while your garage door is open.
Yeah. So the door going from your garage into your house is probably shut.
Right.
Right? So that bad guy now penetrates that door. That is a forcible entry, in my opinion.
Okay.
But somebody who's just one of our students, old-timer dude, I met the son, actually, and he said, my dad always keeps his garage door open. And
Yeah, a lot of people do.
I've been telling my dad for years, you got to close it. Somebody's going to steal your stuff. And the dad's like, nah, I'm in a good neighborhood. It's never going to happen, blah, blah, blah. So one day he walks out there and he's like, all of my stuff, all my tools, everything. Plus he had cameras, and this guy just parked in front of the house, walked up, loaded up tools, put them in the car, and then just drove away. So now he shuts his garage. But let's say you walk outside and you catch some scumbag in your garage holding your favorite, socket set. You don't have a right to pull out a gun and shoot that guy, threaten to shoot him, none of that stuff, unless the bad guy is also attempting to commit a forcible felony, which is treason, murder, manslaughter, sexual battery, carjacking, home invasion, robbery, burglary, arson, kidnapping, all that stuff, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So, good questions. All right, I got one more because we're already at 8:05, only because we were late hopping on. Okay, I need guidance on which is the best gun I can buy that is not only easy to concealed carry, but also most reliable, from Jillian. That's a good question. It's different for everybody, so good for concealed carry and reliable. Our top guns, do you want me to just list them?
Yeah.
Our top guns are going to be the Glock 43, 43X, 42, there's so many different versions. SIG P365, the Shield, Shield Plus, Shield, EZ Shield. No, the EZ Shield is kind of big, isn't it?
It's a big gun, but it's an amazing gun for beginners, new shooters.
Yeah. The Springfield Hellcat is another great gun. And then there's a couple more, right? There's a couple of the different ones. So SIG P365X. Yeah, you guys go ahead and name some in there. So those are all going to be thinner, good for concealed carry, but it's a brand name, and they've been out long enough that you can trust, right? They're reliable. They're proven to be reliable. Many of us have shot thousands of rounds through them, and they've been out for, a while. They've been tested and true. So I say anything like that. Ryan carries a Glock 19. That's a bigger gun. I could never carry a Glock 19. That's just way too big for me. That's what she said. But go ahead and if you guys have some suggestions, go ahead. Yeah, the Hellcat Pro 15+1. The Smith & Wesson Shield Plus, how many does that hold? 15?
13, I think.
Or 13 plus
yeah,
1?
It's a lot,
okay, so that's, there's a lot of good. I just say stick with a name brand that you know.
Eric says a High Point. That's a swing and a miss, Eric. Swing and a miss.
No High Point.
Yeah.
Walther, I like Walther's Katura, but my problem with Walther's that I learned ever since we had the gun store is they're harder to find accessories for, like night sights, things like that, different grip things, holsters. I feel like Walther, for some reason, because it is a pretty popular brand, but for some reason it is harder to find those accessories.
What bothers me with Walther is with any other firearms manufacturer, Ruger. When we had the gun store, we'd call Ruger and be like, hey, we need a new recoil spring.
Yeah.
It broke for my customer, and they would just ship me a recoil spring.
Yeah.
But with Walther, I called them and was like, hey, I need a recoil spring. I'll pay for it. And they said, oh, you can't just buy that.
You got to send the whole gun back.
You got to send the whole gun to us and we'll fix it. And I said, I don't need you to fix it. Just ship me the recoil spring and I'll fix it.
Yeah.
And they're like, I'm sorry, that's not the way we do it, sir. And it's like, okay, well, you're making the process very difficult when this should be extremely simple.
Yeah, and maybe things have changed now, but that was our thing that we kind of found.
Yeah, Kimber Solo is cool. Yeah. I also like the Kimber Micro 9 is a really nice gun.
Nice, a little pricier, but
$650 or so. It's not that big of a deal. Yeah.
Oh, that's not too bad then. Yeah. Okay, but there's a lot of good.
What's really amazing is back in the 1900s, there were only a couple guns that you could carry. Right now, frankly, it's easier to list the guns that suck for concealed carry than it is to list the guns that are amazing. Most of them are pretty good. Now, you might have some size issues with your hands and recoil issues, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But just the quality of the gun is usually pretty good. It's usually the crappy guns we really need to avoid.
Yeah, I agree. 100%.
People ask me all the time, they're like, oh, my gun is inaccurate. A guy was doing it yesterday. He's like, oh, my sights are off. And I'm like, it's not your sights. I know that's an easy.
Did you break it to him? Yeah, the Ruger SR22, not just for women either. I'll tell you what. I know several men that carry the Ruger SR22. They're happy with it. They love it. They love the gun. And I say, here's the thing. Whatever you're going to carry, learn how to use it, be proficient in it, practice often, and it doesn't matter if you're going to carry a Ruger SR22 or you carry, you know, some people want to carry a full-size 1911. It doesn't matter what you choose to carry. Just make sure that you learn how to use it, you're proficient in it, and you carry it 100% of the time that you're legally allowed to.
Yeah.
Because there's no use having a, you know, gun if, one, you don't know how to use it, or two, you're like, oh, it's big, it's heavy, it weighs my pants down, I'm just going to Publix, I'm not going to bother. Then there's no point in having it. So just make sure that it's comfortable, make sure that you can carry it comfortably often, as you know, as often as you're legally allowed to, and that you train with it.
Yeah.
Those are the big things.
Yep.
More than the gun itself. Because everybody has a different opinion, everybody's hand sizes are different, everybody has different likes. I know some of the old school people like the steel frame, you know, firearms, they feel better about it, they don't really like the polymer frame. So there's a lot, you're going to hear a lot of different things. So the most important is just to be trained and have something that you can comfortably carry with your wardrobe, right?
Yeah.
Because none of us want, like, listen, I wear dresses a lot. I love wearing dresses. I'm not going to stop wearing dresses. I know I heard somebody say, like, they totally change their whole wardrobe. I'm not going to change my whole wardrobe because I love what I love.
Yeah.
I have my own style. So just make sure you pick something that goes with, you know, if you wear basketball shorts all the time, you have to find something that you can carry with your basketball shorts.
Yeah.
Whether that's using a belly band, whether that's getting a pocket, you know, pistol, whatever it is. Did I go on too much of a rant?
Nope.
Yeah, Core Essentials belt, super awesome. If you do do a belt, I will say this before we go. The importance of a actual concealed carry belt is like so important, right? What are you staring at? You're up over there.
Talk, Tiff. Try to stay focused.
So it makes a huge difference. You feel like just a regular leather belt or whatever it is you know, feels good. But until you actually use a belt made for concealed carry that's thicker and that holds your holster straight when you're going to draw, then you really, really notice the difference. But until you actually, you know, try a gun made for carry, you don't notice.
I honestly didn't think that a gun belt really mattered. I thought it was just a gimmick, you know, until I actually got a Core Essentials gun belt and I realized how valuable the rigidity of the belt really is. Prevents a gun from moving, keeps everything in one solid place. It's absolutely amazing.
And when you go to draw and you go to grip, it's
in the
solid.
same spot every single time.
It's not
like
bending.
Perfect. Yeah.
It's right there, and it keeps it solid. Whereas those, you know, belts that I used to buy you from Ross and Walmart.
Super cheap, flimsy.
Yeah, and the thickness is not there. And then you think it's your holster, or you think it's the way you're carrying it. Also helps keep your firearm more concealed, right? It keeps it
really does,
tight, up, secured, and you just feel better. So thank you so much, Dan.
Yeah, thanks,
You're
Dan.
so awesome.
Let's see. How are y'all doing this evening? A little frustrated that I'm having such camera issues, but that's okay. Let's see. Carrying 4. We talked about that. Yeah, cool. All right, guys.
I was just going to say it's really hard because our normal camera's right here.
It's frustrating.
But we're having to keep looking here because we're on the little laptop camera now. So we appreciate you guys putting up with us tonight because I know things are a little wonky. Ting Ting, thanks for making your way back over. We appreciate it.
Kathy Douglas is on. Hey, Kathy.
Hey, Kathy. We miss you. So we thank you for everybody tuning in. And I think that's it, right?
I think that's it.
It's it.
Thanks for watching, guys. Be safe. Have a great night.
See you next Monday.